So today I'm on another Brontë adventure and I'm here at Norton, Conyers in North Yorkshire near Ripon to see this house. So come along and find out why this could well be Thornfield Hall. So I've never been very good at walking and talking, so we'll see how I get on. But I'm here today, as I said, at Norton, Conyers. I don't know why I have trouble saying that. And I'm here today because in 1839, there is a thought that Charlotte Brontë came here to visit the house. And this is where she got inspiration for Thornfield Hall. She saw a secret room or a secret staircase that led to the attic, and there was a family story here about a mad woman that lived in an attic who was shut away. So the chances are that could have inspired her to write the section about Bertha Mason. We don't know for sure, but it's well worth checking out, and it's a beautiful day, so let's have a look round. It was 3 stories high, of proportion not vast though considerable, a gentleman's manor house, not a nobleman's seat. Battlements round the top gave it a picturesque look. Its grey front stood out well from the background of a rookery where coin tenants were now on the wing. They flew over the lawn and ground to alight in a great meadow, from which there was separated by a sunken fence, and where an array of mighty old thorn trees, strong, knotty and broad as oak, as once explained the etiology of the mansion's designation. Norton Conyers, here on the map, is about 40 miles from Haworth, Charlotte Brontë's family home, which is marked here. Then you have Skipton Castle marked. That's where the Sidgwick had their winter home in the gatehouse. And then this next mark is where the family's summer home was in Lothersdale, which is where Charlotte probably spent the few months she was with them. Norton Conyers is about 400 years old, and it first appeared in the Domesday Book in 1086. It is now lived in by Sir James the 11th Baronet and his wife Lady Graham, whom I had the pleasure to bump into at the end of the day. Their love and devotion to the house and the estate as a whole is clear to see everywhere. Their family history is in this house, and it goes right back to the 16th century, and it can be felt everywhere you go, from the portraits looking down at you to the items on display that's been collected over the years. The library within the house has been set up as it would have been for Jane and Mr. Rochester in Charlotte's novel. The day after Jane arrives at Thornfield Hall, she is shown into the library where she is to teach Adele, her pupil. Most of the bookcases are locked apart from one that contains everything that could be needed in the way of elementary works. There are activities for young ladies to use in their education, watercolours for painting, writing materials, a globe, books and a piano in the corner. I could very much imagine Jane walking around the room whilst testing Adele on her kings and queens of the past. There is a mark on the floor as a wonderful family legend. It is said that in July 1644, Sir Richard was wounded in the Battle of Marston Moors near York, and his horse brought him all the way home. The horse came in through the front door and stood in the actual hall. His hot horseshoes were so hot from the long ride home that it burnt the shape into the wood. As you walk up the stairs, observed by the many generations of family members hanging on the wall, you imagine all the people and the pets that have walked in your place. The creak of the stairs almost reminds you how old this place actually is. As you turn, you are met by an impressive window, and you just know that Charlotte would have seen this very same view herself. Was this what she imagined for the characters in a novel that was published 8 years later? Did she start thinking about it while she was staying at the house? It was Sir and Lady Graham who came across a concealed staircase connecting the landing to the attic. They think it was constructed in about the 17th century or thereabouts. This staircase would have provided the servants with a shortcut from their quarters in the attic to the upstairs landing. Sometime after Charlotte's visit in 1839, it was blocked up and was soon forgotten about. It wasn't until recent renovation work in 2004 that it was discovered and opened up again. I mean, it is easy to see how it went unnoticed for so many years, what with it being hidden behind the panelling. Sadly, the attic room isn't open to visitors as the floor isn't in the best condition, but these images of this simple room with its small window, you can see why it would have been the perfect place to hide someone. Did Charlotte go up there to have a look round, do you think? Could she imagine the character that became Bertha in this room? The house is very much a home, so tours are taken around in about groups of 20. Some of the corridors are really small, so I often found myself at the back of the group, hanging back maybe to take a better look. At one point I found myself leaning against a locked door, only then to be told it was through this door that Charlotte Brontë would have stayed when she had her visit. Did I feel the pull? Maybe that was it. Maybe that's why I felt the need to be there. There's 3 acres of walled garden that makes you feel like you step back in time. The only noises you can hear are the birds and the water fountain and the sound of a distant gardener. I could have quite happily sat in the sun and daydreamed about me wearing a gown, wafting around the paths, reading poetry with Charlotte. So I wanted to explain a little bit more about the connection between Charlotte and this house. I'm sat in the beautiful gardens and the sun's come out and I'm starting to get warm, so I'm sheltering under this beautiful cherry tree. So Charlotte was a governess, a temporary governess for the Sidgwick family from May 1839 to July 1839. They came to this end of Yorkshire because Sarah Sidgwick, her brother was called, this is where it gets complicated, Frederick Greenwood, and he rented this house that we've come to visit today, and we are pretty sure that Charlotte and the Sidgwick family came here to see Frederick. So the Sidgwicks were John and Sarah, they were the parents, and then Charlotte was governess for their 2 children, which she didn't particularly like. And there was John Jr. and then there was, I think it's Matilda. I'm going to double check that. If I've got it wrong, I will put a highlight up. So they came here for a visit, and the rumour is that when she had a tour around the house, she was shown a staircase behind a door that led up to the attic. And the house had this ongoing sort of myth story about one of the family had had to live in the attic because they were crazy and they were locked away and it was the best place for them. And of course that myth and story has lasted for years, and Charlotte got to hear about it. I do all my research beforehand, but then I get here and get completely distracted by everything around me and I forget what I'm actually supposed to be talking about. And now there's an aeroplane going over. Great. So the chances are Charlotte would have come here. We know there was a letter to Ellen Nussey about how she hated the children and she couldn't wait to leave. She felt like Mrs. Sidgwick was asking her to do too much sewing and that was beneath her as a governess and things like that. She felt like the children always wanted their nose blown or their shoelaces tied, or there was always something, and she felt that she was being expected to do more than what she should be doing. So I'm going to have a wander around these gardens. I'll take you with me, we'll have a look, and I'm sure there's more I'm going to tell you about as time goes on. But it's a beautiful day in Yorkshire. It started off very cloudy, but the sun's come out and I'm really warm now. So let's go and have a look round. Well, thank you for joining me today on this beautiful day up in Yorkshire. It just shows it's not always grim up north. I'm heading home now. I'm going to have a well-earned cup of tea. Let me know what you think. Could this be the inspiration for Thornfield Hall? Who knows? Let me know in the comments below. I will leave information in the description below about the house and how you can come to visit it. It's only open a few days a year, so it's worth checking out so you can plan in advance. The gardens, the house, everyone here has been wonderful, helpful and so kind. So thank you everyone at Norton Conyers for having me here today and allowing me to video. If you would like to do the whole likey, subscribey thing, that would be great. It really helps me and YouTube know that we want to watch Brontë things. I don't know if you can see this, but there is a baby lamb. Baby lamb? There is a lamb underneath this tree using it as a scratching post. Can you see that? He's making a lot of noise about it. He's obviously enjoying it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week for more Brontë adventures. Bye!